I actually wanted to talk to you about a really interesting discussion that I was able to observe and actually take part in at the end, a session on the energy transition here in the Congress Centre. What was most interesting about that session was a debate between two CEOs, the CEO of ENEL and the CEO of Occidental, both over the speed, I think, of the energy transition. And I think what even perhaps surprised me a little was how bullish the CEO of ENEL was about how quickly the clean energy transition is now going to take place. And his views on coal were no less dramatic, a view that coal no longer makes sense, not just because of climate, but because of the economics. Coal is no longer economically viable when put against clean energy alternatives. But what was really interesting was a very robust but polite debate between the CEO of ENEL and the CEO of Occidental over carbon capture and storage and the degree to which carbon capture and storage is part of the solution. ENEL seemed to have lost faith in CCS, not necessarily on technological grounds, but on commercial and economic grounds, that if it was going to have taken off at the scale needed, it would have done so by now, and the industry just has not invested in it. The view from Occidental was almost diametrically opposed, that they really did feel there was a future for fossil fuels, but with CCS, and it was all about the emissions, not fossil fuels, and that if we can deal with the emissions through technologies such as carbon capture and storage, then we can still have fossil fuels. But I think for me, the logic from ENEL that when compared against the dropping costs of clean energy, if you then have to add the cost of CCS onto fossil fuels as well, the economics just do not stack up. That was a very powerful debate. And finally, the intervention from Christiana Figueres, who was also on the panel, that we have to replace 2 degrees with 1.5 degrees. We have to delete 2 degrees from all documents, all targets, and it's incredibly important that we replace it with 1.5 degrees. And we're hearing that more and more in Davos and elsewhere. So thank you.